It started with a single, gut-wrenching click that echoed in my mind like a door slamming shut on everything I'd built. I was midway through uploading the day's encrypted compliance reports when the screen froze, the secure tunnel collapsing like a house of cards in a storm. Error 423, access revoked. No warning. No glitch, just a deliberate cut. As if someone had reached into my world and yanked the plug. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, frozen in disbelief, while my heart pounded with a quiet rage I'd learned to bury deep. This wasn't just a technical hiccup, it was a betrayal. A knife twisted by someone who didn't even know my name, let alone the weight I carried every day to keep this company afloat. My name is Laura Hayes, and for 5 years, I'd been the unseen guardian of Apex Logistics, a mid-sized firm handling sensitive shipments for government contracts out of Seattle. I wasn't the flashy type, no corner office, no TED Talks on innovation. I was the compliance specialist, the one who navigated the labyrinth of federal cyber regulations, ensuring our systems stayed airtight against hackers, audits, and the ever-looming threat of ransomware. My remote setup wasn't a perk, it was a necessity, baked into our insurance policy with Hartford Federal. That VPN was my lifeline, the encrypted vein pumping real-time risk data to our $195 million cyber coverage. Without it, we weren't just vulnerable, we were exposed, naked in a digital storm. But then came Jordan Reeves, the new interim CTO, fresh out of some Ivy League accelerator program, courtesy of his uncle, our CEO. He strutted into the virtual all-hands like a peacock in a pigeon coop, spouting buzzwords about lean operations and visible productivity. I watched from my home office in Tacoma, sipping black coffee, feeling the first cracks of unease. He didn't bother with introductions or chain-of-command reviews. Instead, he targeted outliers like me, people who worked remotely, who didn't need to be seen to be effective. If you're not in the building, you're not contributing, he declared in that Slack channel, his words landing like a slap. I felt the sting, the familiar ache of being dismissed. But I swallowed it. In my culture, you don't explode, you endure. You observe. You let the storm build until it drowns the fool who started it. The tension simmered in the days leading up to the cut. I'd overheard whispers in the team chat, Jordan grilling IT about legacy drains on the network. My endpoint was one of them, isolated by design to handle sensitive attestations without cross-contamination. I messaged him once, politely, attaching the policy docs. This tunnel is mandated for compliance continuity. Disrupting it risks voiding our coverage. His reply? A curt emoji, thumbs down, and we'll handle it. No discussion. No curiosity, just arrogance wrapped in entitlement. It gnawed at me. That dismissal, stirring old wounds from years of being the quiet one in rooms full of loud voices. But I didn't push back. Instead, I started archiving screenshots of protocols, timestamps of my daily logs, even the original appointment letter naming me the designated risk officer. It wasn't paranoia, it was survival. The kind you learn when trust has been shattered before. When the VPN died that Tuesday afternoon, the silence hit harder than any shout. I sat there, staring at the error code, feeling the isolation wrap around me like a cold fog. Alerts began piling up on my personal dashboard, missed pings, unverified nodes. Our vendors would notice soon, the feds even sooner. But Jordan? He didn't care. I'd later learn from a sympathetic IT guy, Miguel, that Jordan had stormed into the ops room, barking orders like a toddler denied a toy. Kill her access. Now, I don't give a damn about her excuses. His assistant executed it via Slack. No ticket, no review, just blind obedience. It was a power play, pure and simple, born from his insecurity about not seeing me clock in like the rest. but in his rush to assert control, he'd severed the artery keeping our entire operation insured. I didn't rage. Didn't storm virtual meetings or flood HR with complaints. That would have made me the villain. The dramatic one. No. I retreated into the shadows, letting the pain fuel my precision. My chest tightened with every unanswered alert. The betrayal sinking deeper, how could they overlook me? The one who'd prevented disasters for years? I created folders on an encrypted drive, revocation evidence, policy breach timeline. Every Slack ping. Every log export. Every forwarded insurer warning, I captured it all. The psychological toll mounted, nights blurred into anxious vigils, replaying the dismissal in my head. Was I invisible because I was competent? Or because I didn't fight dirty? But silence became my armor. My weapon. Ghosts don't vanish, they linger, waiting to haunt. As the hours stretched into days, the cracks widened into fissures. Without my endpoint, the daily heartbeat to Hartford flatlined. Day 1, a yellow flag on their portal. Day 2, vendors pinged unacknowledged verifications. A routine patch failed to deploy, leaving a vulnerability gaping like an open wound. I monitored from afar, my personal scripts mirroring the chaos. The hurt twisted inside me, colleagues I'd trusted stayed silent. The CEO who'd approved my hybrid setup now ghosting my existence. It felt like family turning their backs. A cultural stab where loyalty is everything. But I documented relentlessly. The evidence stacking like bricks in a wall that would soon crush the guilty. By day 3, the probe hit. Anomalous logins from overseas IPs, Eastern Europe, South America, testing the unpatched flaw. They injected a spoofed shipment ID, rerouting it into oblivion. It wasn't a full breach yet, but close enough to trigger alarms. My stomach churned with vindicated fury. This was the price of their hubris. Still, I said nothing, letting the system unravel on its own. The psychological weight pressed heavier, sleepless nights haunted by what-ifs, the isolation amplifying old traumas of being undervalued. Revenge wasn't about fireworks, it was this slow burn. Watching them drown in their own mess. The quarterly investor call was the tipping point. The simmer boiling over into chaos. I slipped in anonymously, camera off. Mic muted, using a guest link I'd set up months ago. Jordan led with his usual fluff. But then Monique from Hartford interrupted. Her voice a calm blade, active breach notification. Attestation chain broken. Policy paused. The room imploded. Jordan stammered. The CEO paled. Investors demanded answers. Who authorized the endpoint kill? One barked. Silence. Then, my evidence surfaced, not from me, but through channels, the Slack threads, revocation logs, my untouched risk officer status. It was surgical, exposing Jordan's recklessness without a word from my lips. The fallout was swift, brutal. An emergency board session locked Jordan out, reinstating me with enhanced authority, direct reporting to investors. Ironclad policies I drafted myself. Clauses etched in stone, no revocations without dual board sign-off. Emergencies video recorded. Jordan resigned by noon. His access evaporated. His name scrubbed like a bad memory. The psychological release washed over me, not triumph, but a hollow peace, tainted by the cost. I'd won, but the scars remained, trust shattered. Isolation's echo lingering. Silence had been my ally, but it came at a price, nights alone with the ghosts of betrayal. In the weeks that followed, the boardroom felt reborn. The air thick with lessons learned the hard way. I sat at the head, outlining the breach post-mortem. Logs speaking truths louder than any accusation. Hartford reinstated coverage. Upgrading my title to contingency architect. Hybrid status locked in. Overrides granted. Jordan's void was palpable, a gap where ego once roared. But as I reconnected that first morning, VPN humming alive, I felt the weight of it all. Revenge doesn't heal, it balances the scales, leaving you to ponder the ruins. In the end, the loud fall, the quiet endure, but at what hidden cost to the soul?